This is my 2018 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. Now I've had this bad boy for a few years now with zero modifications, which is extremely rare in my case. Now this bad boy has all the off-road goodies: sway bar disconnect, electronic front and rear lockers, the big 6.4 Hemi, a winch, all from factory. Now as you can see under the hood, she is bone stock. I'm talking intake, exhaust, everything under here is bone stock. Now my goal is to get a little more power out of the 6.4 Hemi, but I don't want to do anything crazy like Cam, MDS Elite, or anything like that, because again, the truck has been so reliable. I really don't want to make this a project truck because it is a workhorse. Now, I was actually so impressed with the K&N next gen cold air intake on my Ram Warlock with the 3.6 liter V6 that I hit up the boys over at K&N and I said, hey, check it out. I need something to wake up the 6.4 Hemi on my 2018 Ram 2500 Power Wagon, and they sent me this. Obviously, it was going to be a cold air intake system. Now, this cold air intake system is for the 14 to 18 2500 with the 6.4 liter Hemi, as well as the 14 to 18 3500 with the 6.4 liter Hemi. This is actually the fun part where you get to see what comes in the box. Now, in the box, you get the iconic red K&N air filter. You get this black powder coated heat shield, which looks really nice. You have this coupler, 2 hose clamps, your intake tube, this trim edge piece right here, and of course all of your metal hose clamps. And last but not least, the instructions. To start, turn off the ignition and disconnect the negative battery cable. Lift up and remove the decorative engine cover. Disconnect the inlet air temperature sensor and humidity sensor electrical connections. Depress the locking tab and then disconnect the crankcase vent hose from the factory intake tube. Now be careful removing that crankcase vent tube. If your vehicle is older or high mileage like mine, that tube is really brittle. As you can see here, my hose actually broke. So I might be able to fit this into the remainder of the hose and then still slip this on, but I also may have to replace this entire hose because the integrity of the hose is actually compromised. So just keep that in mind when you're installing your cold air intake. Loosen the hose clamp securing the factory intake tube to the throttle body. Release the 4 locking tabs securing the air filter housing lid, and then remove the housing lid and factory intake tube from the vehicle. Remove the factory air filter. Install the filter adapter into the K&N heat shield as shown and secure with the provided hardware. Install the provided edge trim onto the K&N heat shield as shown. Some trimming of the edge trim will be necessary. Install the K&N air filter into the filter adapter and secure with the provided hose clamp. Install the heat shield filter assembly into the lower air filter housing and secure with the 4 factory lid retaining clips. Remove the inlet air temperature sensor from the stock intake tube. Install the provided grommet into the intake tube as shown. Remove the O-ring from the inlet air temperature sensor and then install the sensor into the grommet installed into the K&N intake tube during the previous step. On vehicles not equipped with a humidity sensor, install the provided block-off and gasket. Install the provided coupler hump hose onto the filter adapter and secure with the provided hose clamp. Install the provided step coupler onto the throttle body and secure with the provided hose clamps. Install the K&N intake tube into the hump coupler, then into the step coupler, then adjust the tube for best fit and secure with the provided hose clamps. Connect the factory crankcase vent hose to the quick disconnect fitting on the K&N intake tube. Reconnect the humidity sensor and inlet air temperature sensor electrical connections. Reconnect the vehicle's negative battery cable and double check to make sure everything is tight and properly positioned before starting the vehicle. Now the last thing left to do is put on the engine cover, and that's it. Let's go ahead and listen to some before and after, and then we'll go for a test drive. All right guys, this is my favorite part. Let's talk about that horsepower guaranteed from K&N. And what I have here is their dyno sheet, their dyno jet sheet. Now the stock vehicle that they used for this was a 2015 Ram 3500 with a 6.4 liter Hemi V8. Now in the stock configuration, a second gear pool, we're looking at 293 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque. After the cold air intake, horsepower jumps up to 308.63 horsepower and 293.59 pound-feet of torque. So we're looking at 5,005 RPM is a increase of 15.58 horsepower, and at 3,502 RPM, 23.91 pound-feet of torque increase. So again, horsepower guaranteed, no tune, direct bolt-on application. Now, the last time that I did this in the V6 Warlock, I said, I'm not sure if I can feel 15 horsepower. Turns out you can. So I'm excited for this because the Power Wagon is an absolute workhorse. Driving this truck from the Warlock, I always feel like I'm in a rocket ship. And when I was in the TRX, that felt, again, 10 times better. That's another story though. So let's go ahead and do some test runs and see how she feels. Oh yeah. So good. And again, you can really hear that intake. I just blipped it a little, nothing crazy. Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure the mic can actually pick that up. It's actually pretty loud. Flip it again here. Yeah, there we go. And 60. Yeah, I definitely feel like the torque a lot more. It is a big truck. It's a 2,500 truck, and these things are workhorses. So I normally use this to tow and to move a camper on the weekends. So yeah, every little bit helps. Now, one thing that I really like, and especially since I've had the K&N on the Warlock and I daily drive that truck, being a 6-cylinder versus the big Hemi, drinks less fuel. But when you're just cruising around town, you don't hear the intake. You're kind of just driving. Maybe when you drop a gear and the truck wants to pick up a little speed, you might hear the intake for a split second. But even right now driving, the truck is completely quiet. And the Power Wagon is a truck that we definitely tried to keep stock for the most part. The only thing done to it is, helper bags in the rear and the leveling kit in the front, because at one point I did have 35s on here for most of its life, and then I threw on some 37s and those were just way too big. So went back down to the factory 33s, but just driving it like normal, like right here you hear it a little bit, not too much, but I also feel like I'm looking for it. If this was a regular drive and I was listening to music, you wouldn't hear that engine noise at all. You would just be kind of cruising like any other day. But when you get on it, that's when you realize, oh, I got some stuff under the hood. So again, anything above, got a little squirrely, anything above 22,000 RPM and you're really getting into it, you can really hear it. Man, that sounds really good. I think it sounds better in the Hemi than, of course, the 6-cylinder. But again, now we're cruising at 65 and it's quiet in here. So definitely has that OEM plus feel, and you still get a little extra horsepower and a little extra torque. Well guys, that's actually gonna wrap up today's video. I'm super happy with the install, minus breaking that tube. But again, I'm glad I was able to replace that. Now I feel even more confident with the truck, especially because tomorrow we're picking up a camper to go camping, and this is the bad boy that's going to be the workhorse. Also, if you saw my last drift video, I did end up driving a little hard and I pushed the car just a little too much. So that also means that the Power Wagon will be putting in double duty, because I'm gonna start trailering the car to and from drift events using the Power Wagon. We'll probably still take the Warlock to bring out some stuff like our coolers, our chairs, our tents, that kind of stuff. But the Power Wagon's back into commission. Again, taking a look under the hood now that the sun is perfect right now. Bam, look at that. That looks so clean. You got the powder-coated intake tube as well as the heat shield there going into the throttle body. Everything looks nice and clean. Again, kind of happy that I actually replaced this right here, because now it looks even nicer than that yellow old crusty one that broke off earlier. But yeah, can't complain. That is a super simple install for easy and quick, efficient horsepower. I absolutely love this. And the reason why I love it so much is because it's, I mean, what? You got like the whole day left. You're not really burning a bunch of time. It takes a morning to install the kit and there's zero tuning required. You just plug it in and you're good to go. Well, except for breaking, again, the tube. But there's only one thing left to do, and that's to give this old girl her tattoo, the K&N sticker. Now, if you see right here, that's the OG Tirado racing sticker with the Dodge Challenger. So depending on how long you've been watching the channel, that's how long this truck has been around too. It's been a while. 68 Charger right there. So we're gonna go ahead and throw the K&N tattoo right there. Let me get on the truck. All right guys, that's gonna wrap up today's video on the K&N cold air intake install on the 6.4 liter Ram Power Wagon. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll link the intake as well as that intake tube down in the description of the video. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.